Welcome back from the commercial break. And as we continue, together with Honorable Henry Banyezachi, looking at the principles, the way how we can restore the investor and consumer confidence in Uganda's microfinance industry. All Ugandans, they want to come out from poverty, from lack. And I do appreciate Ugandans. Some Ugandans are trying to work hard. One asks the question whether the principles existing for microfinance, they can steer up, the finance, the consumer confidence, the investor and the consumer confidence to deal with microfinance institutions.
The question should be asking, do these people use microfinance?
Yeah,
money lenders, do they have confidence in money lenders? Is there anybody who has confidence in money lenders?
Of course, there are those who do, because no. if there are those who go and get their money,
they are desperate. Actually, what you should say is, how can we redirect the citizens of Uganda to get access to finance and redirect them from desperate measures of getting microcredit through money lenders?
So we ban money lending, because money lending is an institution.
Money lending,
it is registered.
Money lending, even banks. Actually, if you go into the definition of money lending, even banks lend money.
That's right.
But here we have money lenders, call them quack sharks.
And they are common.
And they have taken over the economy.
Okay, come on with the question.
I'm telling my point. You get my point?
Yes, sir.
They have taken over the economy. And they have taken all the sectors. I can assure you, if someone went and unveiled this Minister of Finance, you might find that even Minister of Finance could be getting money from money lenders to finance their quick sort of. Because supposedly these days we are having a problem of not paying wages, salaries and wages. So where are we getting the money? We are getting them from the bank, commercial bank. If the money, commercial banks don't have money, we have these ministries which want quick. Ministers are flying, prime minister is flying, or the president is flying out of the country. He does not have money. How does the PS state, the president?
Are they the ones that
we don't have money?
Are they doing money lending?
So you get money from a money lender because they have taken over the economy.
Especially, I'm referring to
the mafias groups are in charge of this economy now.
Through money lending?
The mafias are in charge of this economy
now.
Ask me how.
How can overcome it?
Ask me how. Because this economy has become informal. It has become informal in such a way that even those we think that they are called banks, behind the table, they are doing under table transactions. Because they are coming and say, like, for example, we have agricultural financing facility. This ACF, we call it ACF, which is supposed to be not more than 12%. But you go in the bank, they will tell you, this one will take long. But we can give you this at 28%, and we give it to you immediately. And the farmer will say, give me that one immediately. Forget about agricultural credit financing. Another one will be coming a salary earner. Goes to the bank, you want a salary loan. They will tell you, this one is going to take you, it may take you like 1 month. But if you want this quick money, we can give you within 24 hours, it will be 10% per annum. So within the banks, within some of the banks here in Uganda, there are money lenders within the bank. Go and do your research. You go into a bank, it's called a commercial bank, but it has a money lending arm within the bank. And that's where these banks are making money. You just find, you say, how can these banks be, owners of this bank? Why are the rich becoming rich and richer? Who are in charge of these microfinance institutions? Because they have underhand. Because you see, man, somebody has, say, 1 billion shillings and is getting 10% per month or 20% per month. That is 200 million per month. How will you compare this guy? His growth is supernatural. His accumulation of wealth is supernatural. And those are the money lenders you are counting. And those are the people you think they are going to develop this economy. the economy develops on patient capital. And that's why, for example, we are having foreigners coming to dominate our economy. You are having Chinese, you are having Indians, you are having these other people. They get money at 3% per annum or 5% per annum. They invest it here. Those are the Chinese. Those are from Europe, from America, from wherever. They get money from their countries. And when they invest that money here at 3%, how will you ever compete with such a kind of person? For you who's getting money at 30% per annum. Our inflation has risen to 10% now. The prime lending rate is now 9% or something like that. It's going to go to up. So if the inflation is at 10%, the bank wants to add also a profit, say 10%, we are talking per annum. Expenses, 10%. So the interest rate is going to jump, I think it's already at 30%. And you are competing, for you are getting this money at 30% for a short time, maybe 24 months. You are competing with somebody who have got a Chinese who have got money from China at 3%. From 3% per annum. Will you ever compete? And his credit, he has gotten it at, it's called patient capital for 5 years. Will you ever compete with that kind of person? Never.
How can we resolve it? Because what is outside there, 1 second, we have people, they want to work. We have some of our citizens that have invested into schools, construction of, schools, secondary schools, primary schools. Others, they are trying to do business, but yet there is that scenario of unfavorable environment. How can we redirect the course of action for proper access and money?
Intervention.
Yes.
The state must not shy away in participating from this economy. If the state shies away and leaves this economy in the hands of the foreigners and the vampires, they will take it over. Let the state come in. For example, do we have a national bank, a Ugandan national bank? No, we don't have it. The one which you call Post Bank, it is not even a commercial bank. It is some sort of bank of something in another tier. Very undercapitalized. You have UDB, Uganda Development Bank, very undercapitalized. Let the government come in and have what a bank that can outcompete these private banks, which are foreign banks. Let the government come in, squirrel its pride. Let us squirrel our pride. This may also put myself, because whenever I'm talking like this, they say you are part of government. Let us squirrel our pride and have a farmers agricultural cooperative bank where the farmers can access money at a low credit, at a low cost, where farmers can get money, can get a package suitable for their product, where you are going to have a Dr. Tinjebra who says that want to go into poultry farm. He gives you his demonstrated model that will work. Give him money at a low cost so that he goes and capitalizes his chicken, his poultry farm. If you did that, you wouldn't be having these border riders in this town. They would be taking care of their poultry farms. They would be taking care of piggery farms. They would be taking care of goat farms. They would be taking care of their 10-0 grazing cows. But because they don't have anything else that can, they have no avenue to that. They come for quick gains. They come to border banja, border financing. And you go at this border financing, they give it, they say, come, where's your identity card? Here. They put a tracking device into the border. Go, right. The guy works for 4 years. When he's working for Muyende, who gave him a border. So the economy cannot grow. So we have an agricultural economy. Let us finance agriculture. Let us have an agricultural bank. Now, if you are an agriculturist, if you are saying that agricultural credit finance, where is it? In the commercial bank. You'll be treated in a commercial manner, not as a farmer. Do these agricultural banks, agricultural credit fund facility, can a peasant from Rwanda access it? No. But if you had a cooperative bank, the cooperative bank would go as far as Rwanda, Kisoro, Karamoja, Sebei, to finance cooperatives, to build the cooperative movement, to give them incentives, even to give them as far as extension work is concerned, to go and finance those poultry farmers that we are talking about, those who want to do piggery. You bring people together and give them services, form service centers, so cooperative centers to educate the people, so that they produce. So this is what is lacking.
Yes. At the commencement of microfinance industry, I recall 2004, I was just in local government by that time, and I remember, and up to now, most of the sub-counties in this country, each sub-county has a registered circle which is in partnership with for government support, microfinance support, under that formation.
No, you are not right.
There was an encouragement, and I recall, and it is happening, most of the sub-counties.
The model you are talking about, because maybe you are Munyakigezi.
It's all over.
It was
circles,
about,
yes.
let me tell you, it was about a desperate measure when these guys from Kigezi said, no, we have to liberate our people. Yeah? The Surumas, the Babazi, Kanyihamba, when they came with Kigezi National Bank of Commerce, it was built on that model. And when it was built on that model, they were looking for how do they help the people in Kigezi. It translated into a National Bank of Commerce. And it was even doing in National Bank of Commerce when it reaches here. Where is it now? The mafias took it over. There's no bank to talk about. So the model, kind of model we are talking about, the microfinance
yes.
we are talking about,
yes.
in 21?
Microfinance support and all
20,
that.
in which year?
2004.
These were desperate measures to fill the gap that commercial bank had left behind. To fill the gap that Uganda the cooperative bank, the cooperative movement had already been murdered. There was no cooperative bank to talk about. So this microfinance comes in to fill the gap. Even when they had come with good intentions, politicians looked at it as a good mobilization tool and they hijacked it. And when they hijacked it, that is when we start having political cooperatives that we are seeing today. The cooperatives that are being formed today are not cooperatives of cooperators, are cooperatives of political cooperatives. And that is why, for example, now we are talking about an LC2 chairperson, an elected kind of person, to oversee cooperatives in a parish. Because he's the chairman of the parish development model, parish chief. He's the one to oversee these cooperatives. He's the one to oversee formation of these cooperatives. What do you expect a politician at that local level, at the parish level, and you know how these politicians are voted? The wananchi vote somebody because he buys them booze, because he drinks booze with them, because he buys warrant for them, because he sits with them on a margwa pot. They do not vote you because of your intellectuality. And that's why, for example, Dr. Sole, to use you as an example, between me and you went to Rwanda with your PhD, they could not understand it. Okay? I can use also myself as an example. At a younger age, yes, I had ideas, but I was not more brilliant than Suruma. Suruma went there with intellectuality. Former governor of Bank of Uganda, former managing director of
so you're among the people
UCB. No, but I had a brain, man. So for I still have a brain. Let me explain.
Let me say
but you know,
both booze and people voted
no. First, wait. Listen. Yes. I'm saying this in good faith. You get my point. I had a brain, a young brain. But when they looked at it, they said, let's have this one. He's the one he's ours. He's localized. Because I was localized to provide local solutions. But of course, I used that opportunity to catapult myself at the national level. And when I became at the national level, I became a national leader, national debate. You know what? You know it. But in essence, it was even accidental that they catapulted Banyanzachi, who had localized himself. And even when by God's luck and God's providence and grace, that when I reached at a national level, I became a national debater, national character. But what is happening now? They are having local people catapult at the national level, they remain local. So you are having leaders, you are just having leaders, local leaders, to catapult local development, but they are not embedded into the holistic development models.
Allow me to take into this kindly.
Yes.
We are having principles of microfinance. Initially, if we are to deal with the best question of today, there should be restoration of the reputation. And
restoration of?
Restoration of the reputation.
Let's handle one by one.
Right?
Can we handle one by one? Reputation of what?
Of these microfinance institutions.
So that when you gain, you also, the other neighbor gains, and the other neighbor gains. But that's not the case. That's why I told you, when it comes and they share that money, each one satisfied his own needs, period.
But we're dealing with the circles which are within our rural areas, and but also in our, not only rural areas, even in urban centers. Circles
have been politically hijacked, that's what I'm telling you.
How can we restore the reputation? That's what we are dealing with.
Get out of politics from development.
How can we, emerge all that it takes?
Get this kind which we want, community development. Let community development be handled by community developers. Community development office, we call them community development.
Do you have a rightful process that one can undertake?
Extension services, let the technical people handle it. You get my point? Because, like, for example, extension services, is it there? When there was a gap, and I'm from Operation Waste Creation. When there was a gap and Operation Waste Creation tried to fill that gap, now there was a misconception that the soldiers have taken now over extension workers, which was not the case. But the mindset of the people, they think that these commanders at the district level are performing extension worker responsibility.
Agriculture extension workers?
Yes.
But it was not right, and I'm among
but they were not taking
of those who believe that agriculture extension work should have remained to the professional extension
that is what it is.
Officers.
That is what it is.
And that was done under NAD's program.
But the misconception which was created at that time, they thought that these soldiers have come to replace extension workers.
Didn't they replace
because there was that kind of gap, indeed when they reached there, they pretended to be occupying that space. They tried to occupy that space. And in occupying that space,
yes, let's come back now to this.
So the repetition we are talking about into microfinance, the repetitive model. For example, we have been giving cows. There have been a model of deep self-centered that have been created in our community. And they call it different. Say when you call it here, they call it Infunirawa. There is kind of, it is endemic that even when you give a cow and say that when it gives birth, the first heifer, give it to another beneficiary. But because they say, why should I give? These politicians still get it and have it too. I have it, now back you. So the repetitive has died. That's why you are going to have this money called for money for a myoga. If a group shares it and it lands into somebody's money, say, nange, wano nange we mfunide.
Now you go,
so the honest,
when you are able to...
the honest in our community
yes,
is not there.
The honest of the community.
Yes.
But what about also the
moral fiber, let me call it that. The moral fiber is in our community. There is moral decay in our community. But where there is that morality in communities, the repetitive model works. And it is working in Rwanda, by the way.
I want to bring a scenario.
Because there is moral...
I have heard you and the viewers. I want to bring to us a scenario where we have a population that wants to work, especially as we refer to the youth over 17 million, 22, those who are above 18
want to
years.
work.
They want to work. And as they want to work, one of the immediate way to get money, even including sacrificing whether a motorcycle, whether land, is by going to get credit.
Right.
And what is, very much painful for them is that the available financial lending services, they do charge high credit, and they end up losing even the little they have.
Exactly.
So as they attempt to make a step ahead, because this is, as you said, to make research, this is what the information have been able to access. They find that they want to make a step ahead. Some they have succeeded, others they have gone backward. One, a money lender, I'm not meaning now a bank, a money lender comes and asks you that you just sign here an agreement that you have sold me your land, and by this time if you have not paid this money,
I will take your land.
I will consider that you have sold the land. And it is too bad for our people.
Now you have justified the moral decay that I'm talking about.
So now having justified that as a moral decay, the government is supposed to intervene. The people also need to take part in resolving this, because not only the role of government in this transaction.
If I may ask you,
remember the government is not there when all this is happening.
Doctor.
Yes, sir.
If I may ask you, who are these money lenders?
There's some people who are rich, have their own money.
And they part of these people who are working in the government technical people?
Some are businessmen, as
those ones who are supposed to be protecting are the ones who are doing that kind of business. Some of them, I can say some of them.
You have some.
If you go in ministries, for example, you will find within the ministry there is an entrenched money lending organ.
In the ministry.
What is happening? Just recently, it is only when I saw a circular saying that teachers' salary cannot be deducted at source. Because the teachers had been conscripted into a money lending cartel. And that money lending cartel, not only teachers, civil servants, they would deduct your money from source. You borrow money at exorbitant interest rate, and it is borrowed and it's deducted at source, and it was acceptable. It was acceptable by public service, it was accepted by local government. All these cows, most of their accountants were chopping money of civil servants, money of teachers, money of health workers, because they have borrowed money. They were called salary credits. It is not a secret. It's not a secret. And the owners of these organizations were big shots within government.
Before we go for a commercial break, I want to draw you.
You go and unveil the biggest money. What do you call it? They were not even into micro deposit taking institutions. No, they were in another category of tier 4.
Honorable, when we come back from the
commercial, go and unveil the companies that have been lending money to teachers, to health workers, to government workers. You will see who owns those companies.
We're going to make that inquest. We'll be going for a commercial break, and when we come back, please, I will let you get prepared to answer one of my major concerns. When you participated in supporting or building the capacity of microfinance in your area, to tell me the experience, what basically the consumers, where they either disappointed or where they did good. Because remember tonight, we are dealing also with the issue of consumer confidence and to restore it. What happened with the consumer? These are the clients. Whether we registered success, whether we registered challenges, and we'll be able then to draw some recommendation out of that. Right. Stay tuned as I'll see you in the next session.